Lie down comfortably. Let your body sink into the bed. Feel every muscle, from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, slowly unwinding. Tonight, there is no hurry. We are going to walk backward through time into an age when time belonged only to nature. Take a deep breath in and gently let it out. Our journey begins. Many thousands of years ago, the world was wrapped in mystery. There were no smartphones in pockets, no mechanical hands ticking on the wrist. Life moved to an ancient rhythm. Imagine yourself standing in the Stone Age. Towering forests surround you, and above you stretches a sky of endless blue. For people of that era, time meant nothing more than survival. When the sun rose from beyond the horizon, painting the sky with crimson light, they understood that a new day had begun. And when the sun disappeared behind distant hills, darkness flooded the land. This cycle of light and darkness was humanity's first clock. But humans are curious beings. They noticed that the moon changed its shape, sometimes as round as a silver plate, sometimes as thin as a sickle. By watching the moon's phases, they learned to count months. Soon they discovered seasons, scorching summers, bone-cold winters, and slowly the idea of time settled into the human mind. But how would they measure the delicate hours within a single day? The answer hid in the shadows beneath their feet. Along the banks of the Nile in ancient Egypt, giant stone pillars stood on the burning sands. These were obelisks. They were not just monuments, they were colossal sundials. As the sun moved across the sky, the obelisk cast a long shadow that crawled gradually over marked lines in the sand. Egyptian priests could tell when it was time to pray, or when the Nile would swell with life-giving floods. Picture that scene, the scorching desert silent under a blazing sun. No machinery, no noise, only a single black shadow inching forward across the ground. If you stared long enough, you would feel as if time itself had stopped. That slow movement of shadow begins to calm the mind. You realize how patient time truly is. But sundials had a flaw. When clouds filled the sky or night fell, time vanished from human hands. People were left in darkness. So they searched for something that could speak even in the night. The Greeks invented a curious device called the clepsydra, or water thief. It was a large vessel with a tiny hole at the bottom. Water was poured inside, and drop by drop it fell into another container below. Imagine yourself alone in a dark room. Outside, pitch blackness. In one corner, a jar drips water. Drop, drop, drop. Each drop a passing second. That sound has a strange hypnotic power. In ancient Greek courts, lawyers were given only as much time as the water in the vessel. When the water ran out, so did their time. In China, emperors built enormous water clocks that triggered bronze bells using water power. But for ordinary people, time was nothing more than the slow falling of water. Now feel your own breath slowing, like droplets falling into silence. Time is dripping gently around you. You are safe. You are calm. In medieval Europe and China, people discovered another strange way to measure time: candles. These candles were not ordinary. Markings were carved into the wax at equal distances, and people knew how long it took for one mark to burn down. Imagine a lonely mountain monastery. Outside, the wind roars, but inside, stone walls hold the air still. A tall candle burns with a quiet, steady flame. The glow throws a large shadow of you against the wall. Sometimes tiny metal balls were placed inside these candles. When the flame melted the wax to reach one of those balls, it would fall, tung, into a copper plate below, marking an hour past. The hour hand. Minutes didn't exist. Life was slow. Being an hour late was no disaster. Think of that peaceful world, free from the tyranny of minutes. Your present anxieties slow down like those ancient gears, one click at a time. Then came 1656. Dutch scientist Christian Huygens created something that revolutionized timekeeping: the pendulum. A rod with a heavy bob at its end, swinging right, left, right, left. There is a rhythm in this motion, like a beating heart. Each swing reminds you that the earth is round, that everything returns to where it began. Your worries sway with it, gently fading away. Imagine your bed resting on a giant pendulum. You're swaying slowly, right, left, right, left. The motion carries you back to childhood. You are safe. The walls dissolve around you, and you drift through space with the pendulum's quiet rhythm. With time, clocks shrank, first into pockets, then onto wrists. In the 20th century came the quartz clock, a tiny battery, a transparent crystal. That crystal vibrates more than 33,000 times per second. That vibration is what gives us digital time. Our modern lives are built on that relentless tremor. But tonight, we reject that speed. Tonight, we measure time not by seconds, but by depth of peace. Atomic clocks now lose less than a second in millions of years, but we do not need that perfect time. We need the ancient silence where time meant tranquility. At the end of this journey, we understand something. For thousands of years, humans tried to capture time. With dripping water, burning wax, falling sand, it was all an attempt to tame a wild river. But can time ever be held? Time is a feeling. When you sleep deeply, time ceases to exist. Hours collapse into seconds of bliss. The clock on your wall might still tick, but you cannot hear it. The stars burning above us have shone for millions of years. They do not know time. They only know existence. Tonight, you are one with them. Every cell in your body is relaxed. Your mind is still, like a quiet lake. The shadow of the Egyptian obelisk now enters your room. It wraps around you like ancient protection. You no longer belong to this era. You belong to dreams. Now all sounds fade. The last droplet has fallen from the water clock. The candle has burned out. The pendulum has come to rest. You are wrapped in a soft blanket of darkness. Your breath is no longer controlled by you.